I'm Anthony Piagentini. I represent District 19 on Louisville Metro Council, and I'm also the caucus chair for the Minority Caucus. For me, had everything to do with 9/11. So I lived in New Jersey at the time. 9/11 happened, and because I was so close to New York City, I had family members that lived in the city. If this is an act of war, then really any able-bodied single man should be in the recruiter's office tomorrow, ready to defend their country. There's a very famous Armed Forces recruiting center right in the middle of Times Square, and I stopped by there, met with the Marine recruiter. My older brother was a Marine. He was already an officer at the time. A few months later, January of 2003, I went to boot camp at Parris Island, South Carolina. Our team went to Ramadi, Iraq. In Iraq, you had in Baghdad, and then very famously Abu Ghraib, these main large prison structures. And we were an artillery battery, but we actually went over doing military police type work. So we did a lot of convoy security, and our main mission was actually detention center operations, particularly when you deploy, and even before you do, you're in very, very tough situations. You're literally sharing some of the most intimate and dangerous times of your life with these other men and women. It creates a very, very strong bond with all the Marines you serve with. So all Marines have a very defined baseline of connection to each other. We're also the smallest of the armed forces, so there's a sort of camaraderie around being this smaller, more specialized group in what we do and how we operate. Whenever I do identify another Marine, we always try to at least say Semper Fi to each other and just connect, and just so we know each other are there and we know that brother and sisterhood exists forever. When you finish Parris Island, when you finish boot camp and you go back and kind of go to the civilian side again, you have to be very, very careful because things look very different. You'll act differently. And that truly did happen, I think, in almost all positive ways. And then, of course, in addition, I would say the war also changed me. And being deployed, in the middle of a war zone, and it put life in perspective. Let's just say there are things that don't get to me the same way they get to other people because I've seen worse scenarios. So yeah, that all shaped me significantly. And then lastly, I'll say it shaped me as far as service is concerned. I think that shapes who I am as a Metro Councilman. I joined the Marine Corps because I believed at the time the country needed people to do that. When I first ran for office, I believed that the city needed people to serve their community. It has changed my life for the better. I think I've been a better father, but I think it's servant to my community, husband because of my service, and I would encourage young people particularly who are getting out of high school or getting out of college to consider the military